There is a power inside you that never sleeps. It listens when you speak, it watches when you think, and it creates when you believe. This power has been quietly writing the story of your life, not through your conscious thoughts, but through the deep, silent programming of your subconscious mind. For most people, that programming was written by fear, by failure, and by the voices of limitation. But tonight we are going to rewrite it, not just a sentence, not just a paragraph, but the entire script of your destiny for the next 6 hours. Imagine that your mind is a vault, and inside it lies the blueprint of your wealth. Every belief you've ever held about money, every doubt, every dream, they're all locked inside this vault. I will hand you the keys, but only if you are willing to go deep enough to see what has been hiding in the dark corners of your subconscious, where most people never dare to look. This is not a speech, it's a transformation, because your subconscious mind is not just a part of you. It is the invisible architect of your success. It builds everything you attract: opportunity, relationships, wealth, or poverty. The truth is that most people are slaves to their subconscious habits, repeating the same actions, attracting the same results, and calling it fate. But fate is only a program you've forgotten you wrote. If you stay with me through this journey, you will learn how to erase those old codes of limitation and install new commands that make wealth as natural to you as breathing. You will discover how to speak the language of your subconscious, the language of emotion, repetition, and imagination. Because until you learn to communicate with that part of yourself, you will always work harder than you should, struggle longer than you must, and settle for less than you deserve. You were not meant to chase wealth. You were designed to attract it. The mind was never created to serve money. Money was created to serve the mind that knows its power. So, listen closely, because what you are about to learn is the very process by which millionaires, innovators, and empire builders turned invisible thoughts into visible riches. Now prepare yourself, not to simply hear words, but to experience a mental rewiring so deep that your subconscious will begin to align with prosperity itself. The next 6 hours are not about learning new information. They're about awakening the power you already have, to command your mind to shape your beliefs and to magnetize the wealth that is rightfully yours. This is the moment you stop wishing for success and start programming it. This is how you rewire your subconscious for wealth. Deep within every human being exists a hidden workshop where the invisible becomes visible, where thought transforms into substance, and where all riches begin their journey before they appear in the world. That workshop is your subconscious mind. It is the silent laboratory of creation, operating day and night without rest, taking orders from the thoughts, emotions, and beliefs you feed it. Every great fortune ever built began there, inside the unseen chambers of imagination and belief. The subconscious does not argue, it does not question, it simply obeys. It builds the pattern it has been given and brings into your life the exact reflection of what you have impressed upon it with feeling and repetition. The tragedy is that most people have handed their laboratory over to fear. They have filled it with blueprints of scarcity, with pictures of loss and doubt, and then they wonder why their outer world shows them the very same results they dread. To master wealth, you must become the chief architect of that hidden workshop. The mind is like a fertile soil. Whatever seeds you plant within it, it multiplies without judgment. Plant thoughts of abundance, confidence, and faith, and you will reap wealth and opportunity. Plant thoughts of fear, limitation, and envy, and you will reap struggle and delay. The subconscious has no sense of humor, no filter, no logic. It is literal in its obedience. It cannot distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. So, if you dwell upon poverty long enough, if you speak words of lack, if you constantly see yourself as one who never has enough, your subconscious will take those commands as blueprints and begin constructing circumstances to make them real. The secret is to give this laboratory new orders, orders of prosperity, commands of success, visions of achievement so strong they become undeniable. You cannot enter the laboratory of your mind with hesitation. You must enter as a master enters his domain, with purpose, authority, and certainty. The subconscious responds to power. It yields to conviction. It transforms when you believe. Every time you hold a thought of wealth, with intensity, with emotion, and with repetition, you carve a new pathway in that hidden chamber. That pathway becomes a habit, the habit becomes an attitude, and the attitude becomes a magnetic force drawing wealth to you. The subconscious is like an army of invisible workers. It arranges ideas, opportunities, and coincidences to serve the plan you have impressed upon it. It will bring people, circumstances, and resources into alignment with the picture it holds. You may not see how it is happening, but it is always at work behind the curtain of your conscious mind. When you understand that every coin, every home, every business empire once existed as an image in someone's subconscious, you begin to grasp the divine power you hold within. The greatest riches are not earned, they are imagined, believed, and then constructed through the power of mental design. The mind is the true factory of fortune, and you are its director. Whatever blueprint you hand to it, it will build without question, for the subconscious is eternally loyal to its master. The mind is governed by a law that cannot be escaped. The law of mental repetition. Whatever you repeat with emotion and conviction, your subconscious must accept as truth and bring into form, just as water shapes the stone it touches over time. Repetition carves the pattern of your destiny. The thoughts you hold once may pass away, but the thoughts you hold daily become your beliefs, and your beliefs become your world. The subconscious mind is not moved by scattered desires or fleeting wishes. It responds to the rhythm of repetition, the steady beat of persistent thought. This is why most people fail to change their circumstances. They change their goals as often as the wind changes direction, never giving their mind a single command long enough for it to take root. Repetition is the sculptor of faith. When you speak a thought over and over, when you visualize your success again and again, the subconscious begins to accept it as reality. It does not question whether it is possible. It simply builds the pattern that has been consistently impressed upon it. Every affirmation, every visualization, every repetition of belief is a hammer striking the same spot until the old structure of doubt crumbles and a new form of power takes its place. Wealth is never a sudden event. It is the slow unfolding of the repeated thought of abundance, the one who repeats the image of prosperity. Daily will find doors opening where others see walls. The one who speaks wealth into his mind until it becomes a language will begin to attract the very experiences that match that vibration. The secret lies not in how much effort you apply, but in how consistently you apply it. You can whisper a single phrase of success each morning, and if you do so with genuine feeling for weeks, your subconscious will begin to turn that phrase into a command. Every emotion you add to your repetition acts as fuel, magnifying the impression on your subconscious. This is why fear is so powerful. It is repeated with emotion, and therefore it manifests, but the same law that creates misery can create wealth when used consciously. If you repeat faith instead of fear, gratitude instead of lack, your subconscious will reverse the entire pattern of your life. Each day, speak to your mind as if you were speaking to a powerful servant that never forgets. Tell it who you are, what you desire, and what you expect to experience, then repeat it until it becomes your automatic truth. The mind learns through rhythm, and wealth is a rhythm of thought. The more you repeat the pattern of success, the less resistance you will feel, until the thought of abundance becomes as natural to you as breathing. Through repetition, you do not merely convince your mind, you reprogram it. And once the subconscious accepts a command as truth, it begins to orchestrate every detail of your life to fulfill it with mathematical precision. There is a silent saboteur that lives within most people, a hidden architect that designs a life of limitation while pretending to protect them. That saboteur is the poverty blueprint, an invisible pattern of beliefs and fears buried deep within the subconscious mind. It is not born with you, it is taught, whispered, and impressed upon you by those who lived in fear of loss, who believed that struggle was noble and who accepted scarcity as normal. You absorbed their words, their emotions, and their limitations until they became your own. Without realizing it, you began to expect less, to think small, and to doubt the possibility of abundance. The blueprint of poverty took root, and from it grew habits of hesitation, thoughts of lack, and a quiet acceptance of mediocrity. To destroy this blueprint, you must first recognize that it exists. It is not a curse, nor is it fate. It is simply a program, a pattern repeated until it became truth to your subconscious. And like any pattern, it can be rewritten. The first step is awareness. Observe your reactions to wealth. When you see someone prosper, do you feel inspired or envious? When you think of abundance, do you feel deserving or doubtful? These emotions reveal the design of your inner architecture. The subconscious blueprint does not hide in your words, it hides in your feelings, and until you face those emotions, they will continue to control your life silently, sabotaging every effort you make towards success. Destruction of the poverty blueprint requires a bold act of mental rebellion. You must challenge every belief that tells you money is evil, that success is for others, or that struggle is your destiny. You must question the inner voice that says, "I can't," and replace it with one that declares, "I can, I must, and I will." The subconscious cannot hold two opposing beliefs for long. The stronger one will always win. Feed your mind daily with the thought of prosperity until the old belief weakens and fades away. This is not wishful thinking. It is reprogramming. You are replacing one mental code with another, one vibration with a higher one. The subconscious will adjust to the new order as faithfully as it once obeyed the old. Each time you reject a thought of limitation, you are tearing down a wall in the old design. Each time you affirm abundance with emotion and conviction, you are laying the foundation for a new structure. In time, your subconscious will stop attracting situations that mirror poverty and begin aligning you with people, opportunities, and ideas that express wealth. You will notice that coincidences appear, that paths open effortlessly, that inspiration flows naturally. These are the signs that your inner world has changed its design. The poverty blueprint can be destroyed only through conscious persistence, but once it is gone, it never returns. You will have rewritten your mental code from scarcity to abundance, from fear to faith, from survival to creation, and that transformation will mark the true beginning of your wealth. Emotion is the language of the subconscious mind. Logic may impress the conscious mind, but it is emotion that leaves the lasting mark on the unseen layers of your being. The subconscious does not respond to empty words. It responds to the vibration of feeling behind them. When you speak a thought of wealth with no emotion, it passes through the mind like a faint echo. But when you declare it with conviction, with excitement, with gratitude that vibrates through every cell of your body, the subconscious accepts it as reality. Emotion is energy in motion. It is the current that electrifies thought and gives it life. Without it, thought remains dormant. With it, thought becomes a magnetic force capable of reshaping your destiny. Most people try to create wealth by thinking harder, working longer, or repeating affirmations without feeling they fail because they speak to the subconscious in the wrong language. You cannot program your inner mind with words alone. You must saturate those words with feeling. When you visualize prosperity, do not simply see the image, feel it. Feel the comfort of success, the security of abundance, the excitement of achievement. The more vividly you feel those emotions, the more your subconscious begins to believe they are already true. It does not wait for external proof. It begins creating the circumstances that will match that inner reality. The subconscious cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is emotionally imagined. Whatever you feel deeply, it assumes to be true and begins working to reproduce it. Emotion is also the fuel of faith. Faith is not blind belief. It is emotionally charged certainty. When you attach strong emotion to an idea, it moves from a thought into a conviction. The subconscious then aligns every action, decision, and coincidence to fulfill that conviction. This is why fear manifests quickly. It carries intense emotion. The same energy that gives power to fear can give birth to abundance if redirected. Instead of allowing fear to dominate your imagination, flood your mind with gratitude and joy as if your success has already arrived. Gratitude is the purest emotion for programming the subconscious because it combines faith and acceptance in one powerful vibration. To master the art of emotional programming, make your feelings obey your vision rather than your circumstances. The average person allows emotions to be dictated by what they see. The Creator dictates emotions according to what they desire to see. When you hold a feeling of abundance, even when results are absent, you are signaling to the subconscious that wealth already exists in your reality. That signal attracts the external proof. Every great creator, every visionary, every wealthy mind has learned to live emotionally in advance of their results. They feel rich before the money arrives, successful before the goal is reached, fulfilled before the manifestation appears. This is how the subconscious is magnetized. Through emotion deliberately chosen and consistently applied, when feeling and thought unite in harmony, the subconscious cannot resist. It must express that union in the form of visible prosperity. There is a precise method by which the subconscious mind can be reconditioned for wealth, and it is not complicated. It only demands consistency, intensity, and faith. This is the 6-hour transformation ritual, a deliberate process of mental alignment that reshapes the deepest layers of your being. For 6 hours, not necessarily in a single stretch, but in devotion throughout your day, you will give your subconscious clear and repeated instructions to build wealth. Each hour represents a stage of reprogramming, a reinforcement of new beliefs until they are no longer foreign to your mind, but become the natural rhythm of your thinking. The ritual begins the moment you awaken. Before your conscious mind floods with noise, speak to yourself as the master of your destiny. Declare, "Today I command my mind to attract opportunities, ideas, and people that multiply my wealth." Speak with emotion, not as a hope, but as a decree. Your subconscious listens most closely in that first quiet moment between sleep and wakefulness, when it is open and receptive like fertile soil ready for new seeds. Throughout the day, return to your inner dialogue. Every thought is a suggestion to the subconscious, and every suggestion, when repeated, becomes law. If you catch yourself thinking of lack or fear, stop at once and replace it with a statement of power. I am surrounded by abundance. Money flows to me easily. I am in perfect harmony with success. Say these words aloud when possible, and if not, repeat them silently until your emotion aligns with their truth. The power lies not in the phrase, but in your belief while saying it. You are training your subconscious like a skilled craftsman shaping a new design, striking the same spot again and again until perfection is formed. The 3rd and 4th hours of this ritual belong to visualization. Close your eyes and build in your mind a vivid picture of the wealth you desire. Do not merely see the symbols of money. See yourself living in abundance, confident, free, fulfilled. Engage every sense. Feel the texture of success, hear the sounds of joy, see the light of achievement. The subconscious understands images better than words, and the more emotion you pour into your vision, the faster it becomes your reality. The 5th hour is gratitude. Gratitude is the cement that fixes all mental impressions. It tells your subconscious that what you desire already exists, and it works tirelessly to make your outer world match that feeling. Express gratitude for your present and for what is to come, and your subconscious will interpret that emotion as confirmation of success. The final hour of the ritual belongs to reflection before rest. As you lie down, clear your mind of all negativity and once more repeat your affirmations. The subconscious never sleeps. It will work through the night on the last thought you impress upon it. Guard that thought carefully, for it will be the blueprint of tomorrow. When practiced daily, this 6-hour ritual rewires your subconscious completely. The old patterns of limitation lose their power, and in their place grows a mental structure aligned with prosperity, faith, and unstoppable creation. The final and most powerful step in this transformation is to become the absolute master of your inner world. Until you command your subconscious, it commands you. Most people live as servants to their own habits, reacting to impulses and emotions they do not understand, believing that life happens to them instead of through them. But mastery begins the moment you recognize that everything outside you is only a reflection of what exists within. Your financial situation, your opportunities, your relationships, these are mirrors of your dominant mental state. To become the master is to stand above your thoughts, to observe them, and to direct them with purpose, rather than being driven by them unconsciously. The subconscious is a faithful servant, but like any servant, it requires leadership. It demands that you know what you want, speak it with authority, and maintain it without contradiction. When you hold a definite purpose in your mind with unwavering faith, the subconscious becomes your greatest ally. It draws energy from your belief, it aligns your habits with your goals, and it begins to orchestrate every detail of your reality. To fulfill your intention to master the inner world is to live as a deliberate creator, to design your life from thought first and action. Second, no longer do you react to conditions, you create them. You stop asking, will this happen for me, and instead declare, this must happen because I have commanded it. The subconscious thrives on certainty. Every doubt you entertain weakens your command, but every repetition of faith strengthens it. In mastery, you no longer allow circumstances to dictate your state of mind. You dictate your state, and the world reorganizes itself accordingly. This mastery is not arrogance, it is harmony. You are not forcing the world to obey you. You are aligning yourself with the universal laws that have always been waiting for your conscious participation. The mind and the universe move by the same principle. Thought into form, belief into being. When your conscious and subconscious minds operate as one, nothing can stand in your way. You move with clarity, and wealth begins to follow you as a shadow follows light. The person who has mastered the inner world does not chase success. Success is drawn to them irresistibly. They no longer wonder how things will happen because they know that the subconscious mind, once properly directed, handles every detail in divine order. Mastery of the inner world requires daily discipline. Guard your thoughts as a king guards his crown. Never permit fear to take the throne of your mind. Replace doubt with vision, worry with gratitude, hesitation with decision. The subconscious is loyal. It will always serve the master you present. If you rule with confidence, it will create confidence. If you rule with fear, it will create fear. The choice is forever yours. When the mind obeys the command of your higher will, wealth ceases to be a pursuit and becomes a natural extension of who you are. At that moment, you no longer seek abundance, you become it. Every journey of transformation begins within the silent depths of the mind, and this one is no different. You now understand that the subconscious is not a mystery. It is a mechanism, a divine instrument that obeys the voice of your dominant thoughts and emotions. For 6 hours, we have walked through the corridors of your inner world, learning how thoughts shape reality, how repetition builds belief, how emotion energizes creation, and how faith commands the unseen to take form. Wealth is no longer an accident to you. It is a deliberate design, built thought by thought, impression by impression, command by command. The moment you assume authority over your inner kingdom, the world outside bends to reflect it. You were never meant to live in struggle, fear, or limitation. You were meant to master your mind, to direct its power toward the creation of abundance and purpose. The subconscious mind does not choose sides. It builds whatever you believe. It has built poverty for those who expected little and empires for those who dared to expect everything. The law is the same for all, but only the conscious few use it with intention. Now you stand among those few. You have the blueprint to rewire your thoughts, to release the hidden power of repetition, to dissolve the patterns of scarcity, and to awaken the emotions that attract prosperity. You have the tools to build the life you once only imagined, and all that remains is your decision to use them every single day. From this moment on, walk as one who knows their power. Speak to your mind as the master it respects. Let no thought of fear survive, no doubt linger long enough to take root. Live with a burning sense of gratitude, as if everything you desire already belongs to you, because in truth it does. You are the creator, the designer, the builder of your destiny. Wealth, success, and happiness are not gifts from fate. They are reflections of the mental image you hold most firmly. Command your subconscious with certainty. Feed it with purpose, and it will construct a life of abundance that mirrors the greatness within you. This is where the true journey begins, not when the words fade, but when you apply them tonight as you close your eyes. Remember, the mind never sleeps. Give it a vision so clear, so powerful, that it works through the night to bring it to life. Awaken tomorrow as a new being, one whose thoughts are disciplined, whose emotions are aligned, whose subconscious is programmed for wealth. The world will not resist you when your mind is united with its purpose. So rise with faith, act with conviction, and live as the master of your own creation. The power is within you now, and it will remain with you for all the days of your life.